Chapter 1. The Tiara and the Tech Call. The tiara was crooked. Alex adjusted it with the precision of a man who had configured firewalls at 3 in the morning, but still couldn't figure out why his 5-year-old daughter insisted on calling him Princess Dad during tea parties. Daddy, Bella said, her voice full of authority that only a child with glitter on her cheeks could muster. You're not holding your pinky up. Alex sighed dramatically and raised his pinky like it was a flag of surrender. Better. Bella squinted at him, then nodded solemnly. Better. But you need more sparkle. Sweetheart, Alex said, glancing at the clock on the wall. Daddy has a work call in 10 minutes. Sparkle is a limited resource. Bella grinned, showing the gap where her front tooth had recently vacated. You can sparkle and work. You're magic, Alex chuckled, because how do you argue with that? He reached for his laptop on the kitchen counter, balancing it between a plate of half-eaten cookies and a plastic teapot. His life was a mashup of cybersecurity protocols and tea parties, and honestly, he wouldn't trade it for anything. Except maybe for a nap. A nap sounded like heaven. The video call connected with a cheerful chime, and Alex straightened his posture. Tiara still perched on his head because Bella had declared it mandatory. He prayed the camera angle didn't catch the boa draped across his shoulders. Morning, Alex. Claire's voice was bright, warm, and just a little too amused. Her face appeared on the screen, framed by chestnut hair and the soft glow of an office lamp. She was in the company's main office, which looked like an old converted farmhouse, because it was. Morning, Alex said, clearing his throat. How's everything at HQ? Good, Claire said, and then her lips twitched. Is that a tiara? Alex froze. No, Claire laughed, the kind of laugh that made Alex's ears feel warm. Alex, you're wearing a tiara. Bella popped into view like a jack-in-the-box, her curls bouncing. He's Princess Dad today. Claire's laughter doubled, and Alex groaned. Bella, betrayal is a harsh word, but it fits. Hi, Bella, Claire said, waving. You look beautiful. Bella preened. Thank you. Daddy says I'm the queen. Queen Bella, Claire said with mock reverence. I like it. Before Alex could redirect the conversation to something less sparkly, another window popped up. Thomas joined the call, his voice booming like a friendly bear. Alex, Claire, how's my dream team? Doing great, Dad, Claire said, still grinning. Alex nodded. Morning, Thomas. Thomas leaned back in his chair, eyes twinkling. Alex, you look festive. Alex closed his eyes briefly. It's a long story. Looks like a short story, Thomas said, chuckling. Tiara. Boa. End of plot. Bella giggled, and Alex muttered something about mutiny. The conversation shifted to work, server updates, a client's firewall issue, and a minor panic about a phishing attempt that Alex had already neutralized. He was good at his job. Too good, maybe, considering he could be making triple his salary in a big city. But that wasn't the life he wanted. Bella deserved better than daycare drop-offs and a dad who was always on a plane. Thomas knew that. He respected it. Which was why, after the tech talk wrapped up, Thomas cleared his throat in that way that meant he was about to change the subject. Alex, Thomas said, I've got a special project for you. Alex raised an eyebrow. Special. Lake house, Thomas said, leaning forward. Needs cleaning, stocking, and a little tech TLC before winter. Pays double your usual rate. Alex blinked. Double. Bella, who had been coloring at the table, perked up. Lake house. Like with water? Thomas grinned. Exactly, sweetheart. Lots of water. Ducks too. Bella gasped like he'd just promised her a unicorn. Alex hesitated. Thomas, that's generous, but no buts, Thomas said firmly. You'll have space for Bella to play, and Claire will be there to help. 2 weeks. Easy work. Good money. Claire's face appeared again, her smile soft but hopeful. It'll be fun, Alex. And Bella will love it. Bella tugged on Alex's sleeve. Daddy, can we go? Please. Ducks. Alex looked at his daughter's wide eyes, then at Thomas's steady gaze, then at Claire, who quickly looked away, pretending to check her notes. Something in his chest shifted, like a door creaking open. 2 weeks. Alex said slowly. 2 weeks, Thomas confirmed. Think of it as a working vacation. Bella squealed. Vacation? Alex sighed. Because how do you say no to ducks and double pay? All right, he said. We'll go. Thomas's grin was pure satisfaction. Claire's smile was something else, something that made Alex's ears warm again. Bella threw her arms around his neck. Best. Daddy. Ever. Alex hugged her back, tiara digging into his forehead, and thought. What's the worst that could happen? After the call ended, Alex closed his laptop and leaned against the counter, staring at the tiara in the reflection of the microwave. He'd been called a lot of things in his life. Tech wizard, problem solver, miracle worker, but never Princess Dad. And yet, here he was, wearing glitter like it was a badge of honor. He thought about the early days after Jessica left. The silence in the house had been deafening. Bella was 9 months old, too young to understand why mommy wasn't coming back. Alex had sat on the floor of the nursery that night, holding her tiny body against his chest, promising her things he wasn't sure he could deliver. I'll figure it out, he'd whispered into her hair. I'll make it okay. And he had. Somehow. With Thomas's help, with late nights and early mornings, with every ounce of grit he had left. He'd learned to braid hair from YouTube tutorials, mastered the art of cutting sandwiches into hearts, and discovered that tea parties were non-negotiable. He'd also learned that loneliness was a quiet thief. It didn't steal all at once. It crept in during the pauses, after bedtime stories, when the house was too still, when he wanted to share a joke, and there was no one there to laugh. Bella interrupted his thoughts by climbing onto the counter like a tiny mountaineer. Daddy, she said, do ducks wear tiaras? Alex blinked. I don't think so. They should, Bella declared. We'll bring extra. Alex smiled, ruffling her curls. You're going to love the lake house. Will Claire be there? Bella asked, her tone casual, but her eyes curious. Alex hesitated. Yeah, she'll help us. Bella grinned. I like Claire. She laughs at your jokes. Alex snorted. Someone has to. Bella tilted her head. You like her too. Alex opened his mouth, then closed it. Eat your cookie. Claire sat at her desk, staring at the blank screen of her computer, her mind replaying the image of Alex in a tiara. She'd liked him for years, quietly, respectfully, never crossing the line. He was a good man. The kind of man who stayed when others left. The kind who wore a tiara for his daughter without blinking. And now, 2 weeks at the lake house. She wasn't naive. She knew this wasn't a rom-com where everything magically fell into place. But maybe it was a start. Thomas leaned back in his chair, humming. He'd seen the way Claire looked at Alex. He'd seen the way Alex softened when Claire spoke. It wasn't much, but it was enough. And if he had to play matchmaker with ducks and fishing rods, so be it. Because if anyone deserved a second chance at happiness, it was Alex Cross. Chapter 2. Ducks, boxes, and awkward sparks. The gravel crunched under the tires as Alex's old SUV rolled to a stop in front of the lake house. Bella was already halfway out of her booster seat before Alex could put the car in park. Daddy, ducks, she squealed, pointing toward the water where 2 mallards glided like royalty. Seatbelt, Alex reminded, but his voice lacked conviction because honestly, he was just as eager to get out. The lake house was beautiful, white siding, wraparound porch, and a view of the water that looked like something out of a postcard. It smelled like pine and possibility. Bella bounced on her toes as Alex opened the back hatch. Can we feed them? Do ducks like cookies? Pretty sure ducks prefer bread, Alex said, hauling out a box of cleaning supplies. But let's not start a duck bakery just yet. Bella giggled, then froze as a car door slammed behind them. Alex turned to see Claire stepping out of a sleek sedan, her hair catching the sunlight like it had been personally styled by the universe. She wore jeans and a soft sweater, casual but somehow perfect. Hey, Claire said, smiling. You made it. Alex nodded, suddenly aware that his shirt had a faint smear of glitter from Bella's last tea party. Yeah, we're here. Bella waved enthusiastically. Hi, Claire. There are ducks. Claire laughed. I saw. They're very fancy ducks. Bella gasped. Do you think they need tiaras? Alex groaned. Bella. Claire grinned. I think they'd love tiaras. Bella beamed, vindicated. Thomas emerged from the porch like a man surveying his kingdom. Alex. Bella. Welcome to paradise. Bella ran to him, arms wide. Grandpa Tom. Thomas scooped her up with ease, spinning her until she squealed. Ready for 2 weeks of fun? Yes. Bella said. And ducks. Thomas winked at Alex. We've got ducks, fishing rods, and enough marshmallows to start a small sugar empire. Alex chuckled, setting down another box. Sounds like a plan. Inside the lake house, the interior smelled faintly of cedar and nostalgia. Sunlight streamed through wide windows, illuminating a cozy living room with a stone fireplace. Bella darted from room to room like a tiny explorer, narrating her discoveries at full volume. Daddy, there's a bunk bed. Can I sleep on the top? Not unless you want to break your neck, Alex called, lugging a box toward the kitchen. Claire appeared beside him, reaching for the box. Here, let me help. Alex hesitated. It's fine, I've got it. Claire raised an eyebrow. You're carrying 3 boxes like a pack mule. Give me one. Alex relented, handing her the lightest box. Thanks. Their fingers brushed, and Alex felt a spark, small, quick, but enough to make him glance away like the box suddenly needed his full attention. The first matchmaking attempt, Thomas clapped his hands. All right, team. Here's the plan. Alex, you and Claire tackle the kitchen. Bella and I will handle the porch. Alex frowned. You sure? Bella can stay with me. Thomas waved him off. Nonsense. Bella and I are partners in crime. Bella grinned. We're gonna make it sparkle. Alex narrowed his eyes, sensing something off. But before he could protest, Bella was already dragging Thomas toward the porch like a general leading her troops. Claire smirked. Looks like we're stuck with the kitchen. Alex sighed. Guess so. Kitchen chaos. The kitchen was a mix of rustic charm and mild disaster. Dusty counters, mismatched mugs, and a fridge that hummed like it was contemplating retirement. Alex set down a box of supplies and glanced at Claire, who was wiping down a shelf with practiced ease. So, Claire said casually, how was the drive? Long. Alex said, scrubbing at a stubborn stain. Bella sang every Disney song she knows. Twice. Claire laughed. Sounds adorable. Adorable is one word, Alex said dryly. Ear-splitting is another. Claire grinned. You love it. Alex paused, then smiled. Yeah, I do. There was a beat of silence, comfortable but charged. Alex cleared his throat. Thanks for helping with this. Of course, Claire said. I like this place. Lots of good memories. Alex glanced at her. You came here a lot? Every summer, Claire said, her voice softening. Mom loved it here. Alex nodded, unsure what to say. He knew about her mom, how cancer had stolen her too soon. It was a quiet bond between them, unspoken but understood. Bella and Thomas. On the porch, Bella was arranging cushions with the precision of a tiny interior designer while Thomas supervised with a grin. Grandpa Tom, Bella whispered conspiratorially. Do you think Daddy likes Claire? Thomas chuckled. I think he might. Bella's eyes sparkled. We should help. Thomas leaned down. What do you have in mind? Bella tapped her chin. We can make them sit together. Like really close. Thomas laughed. You're a genius. Bella puffed up proudly. I know. Back in the kitchen, Claire reached for a jar on the top shelf, stretching just enough for her sweater to ride up slightly. Alex noticed and immediately looked away, focusing on the sponge like it held the secrets of the universe. You okay? Claire asked, glancing down. Fine, Alex said quickly. Just cleaning. Claire smiled, amused but kind. You're a terrible liar. Alex opened his mouth to reply, but Bella burst in like a glitter bomb. Daddy, come see the porch. It's beautiful. Alex sighed, tossing the sponge in the sink. Duty calls. Claire followed, her smile lingering. The porch reveal. The porch was indeed sparkling. Cushions arranged, lanterns hung, and a pitcher of lemonade on the table. Bella stood proudly beside Thomas, hands on her hips. Tada, she declared. Alex blinked. Wow, looks great. Sit. Bella commanded, pointing to two chairs placed suspiciously close together. Alex hesitated. Up. Sit. Bella repeated, her tone brooking no argument. Claire laughed softly. Better obey. Alex sat. Claire sat. Their knees brushed. Bella beamed. Thomas hid a grin behind his lemonade. Alex had the distinct feeling he was being played, and for the first time in a long time, he didn't mind. Claire sipped her lemonade, heart doing somersaults. 2 weeks. Ducks. Porches. And maybe, just maybe, a chance to turn sparks into something more. Chapter 3. Soap suds and subtle sparks. The morning sun spilled across the lake like liquid gold, and Alex was already regretting agreeing to light chores. Light chores, as it turned out, meant hauling boxes, scrubbing floors, and discovering that the lake house had approximately 1 million windows. Bella, of course, was thriving. She wore a floppy sun hat and carried a feather duster like a royal scepter, issuing orders with the confidence of a 5-year-old who believed ducks should wear tiaras. Daddy, she said, hands on her hips, you missed a spot. Alex glanced at the window he'd just cleaned. Sweetheart, that's my reflection. Bella squinted. Still smudgy. Alex sighed. Noted. The great soap disaster. In the kitchen, Claire was tackling the dishes while Alex filled a bucket for mopping. It should have been simple. It wasn't. Alex, Claire said, eyeing the suds creeping across the counter like an invading army. Is that supposed to happen? Alex turned and froze. The sink was overflowing, bubbles cascading like a glittery waterfall. Oh, come on, Alex muttered, lunging for the faucet. I barely used any soap. Claire bit her lip, trying not to laugh. Define barely. Alex twisted the knob, but the suds kept coming, relentless and cheerful. Bella appeared in the doorway, eyes wide with delight. Daddy made a bubble lake, she squealed, clapping her hands. Alex groaned. Not helping Bella. Claire grabbed a towel, still grinning. I'll help. You, mop the floor before we have a slip and slide. Alex shot her a look. You're enjoying this. Maybe a little, Claire admitted, laughter dancing in her eyes. Claire knelt by the sink, scooping suds into a bucket, her heart doing that ridiculous flutter thing every time Alex muttered under his breath. He was flustered, adorable, and completely unaware of how good he looked with soap bubbles clinging to his forearms. She shouldn't stare. She really shouldn't. But she did. Bella's matchmaking escalates. Later, while Alex battled a stubborn stain on the porch railing, Bella sidled up to Claire with the stealth of a tiny ninja. Claire, Bella whispered, do you like Daddy? Claire blinked, nearly dropping the rag. What? Bella rolled her eyes. You know, like. Claire's cheeks warmed. Bella grinned. It's okay. I think Daddy likes you too. Claire swallowed hard. Why do you think that? Because he looks at you like he looks at pancakes, Bella said matter-of-factly. Claire blinked. Pancakes. Daddy loves pancakes, Bella explained. And he loves you. Claire laughed, flustered. That's sweet. Bella nodded sagely. I'm helping. Claire had a sudden, vivid image of Thomas coaching Bella on matchmaking strategies. She was doomed. The ladder incident. By afternoon, Alex was on a ladder, cleaning cobwebs from the porch beams. Claire stood below, holding the base steady. You sure you've got that? Claire asked. Positive, Alex said, reaching up. I've done this a million, the ladder wobbled. Alex flailed. Claire grabbed his leg instinctively, steadying him. Whoa, Alex yelped, gripping the beam like his life depended on it. Okay, that was exciting. Claire looked up, trying not to laugh. You good? Define good, Alex muttered, climbing down slowly. When his feet hit the ground, he exhaled. Thanks. Claire smiled. Anytime. Their eyes met, just for a second, but long enough for Alex to feel something shift. Something warm. Something dangerous. Alex wiped his hands on his jeans, trying to ignore the way his pulse had kicked up when Claire grabbed his leg. It was nothing. Just adrenaline. Just proximity. Except it didn't feel like nothing. He glanced at Claire, who was laughing with Bella over a pile of marshmallows, and thought, maybe Thomas was right. Maybe this trip wasn't just about chores. Evening chaos. Dinner was a comedy of errors. Bella insisted on helping, which meant flour on the floor, marshmallows in the salad, and Claire laughing so hard she had tears in her eyes. This is gourmet, Alex said, staring at the plate of spaghetti that looked like it had survived a tornado. Claire grinned. 5-star chaos. Bella beamed. We're a team. Alex smiled, and for the first time in a long time, the house didn't feel quiet. It felt full, alive, like maybe, just maybe, something good was starting. Chapter 4. Ducks, Sandwiches, and Secrets. The lake shimmered under the afternoon sun, a perfect backdrop for what Bella had declared the best picnic ever. Alex wasn't sure about the best part. He'd seen the state of the kitchen after Bella's enthusiastic sandwich making, but he had to admit, the view was unbeatable. Daddy, hurry, Bella called, racing down the grassy slope with a blanket trailing behind her like a superhero cape. The ducks are waiting. Alex followed, balancing a cooler and trying not to trip over his own feet. Claire walked beside him, carrying a basket that smelled suspiciously like actual edible food. You didn't let Bella make all the sandwiches, did you? Alex asked, eyeing the basket. Claire laughed. I supervised. She tried to put marshmallows in the turkey wraps. Alex groaned. Of course she did. She said it was gourmet, Claire added, grinning. Alex shook his head, smiling despite himself. She's 5 going on Food Network. Picnic setup, Bella spread the blanket with dramatic flair, then arranged plates like a tiny hostess. Daddy, you sit here, she said, patting the spot next to Claire. Claire sits here. Grandpa Tom sits way over there. Thomas raised an eyebrow from where he was unloading fishing gear. Way over there. Bella nodded firmly. You need space for fishing. Alex narrowed his eyes. Bella beamed innocently. What? Claire bit her lip, hiding a smile. Alex sighed and sat where Bella indicated, which happened to be close enough that his knee brushed Claire's. He told himself it was fine. Totally fine. Just proximity. Duck drama. Halfway through the meal, Bella spotted a duck waddling toward them. Daddy, it wants a sandwich. Alex held up a hand. No feeding the ducks. Bella pouted. But it's hungry. Claire laughed softly. It does look determined. The duck quacked loudly, as if agreeing. Bella gasped. It said please. Alex groaned. Bella, ducks don't. The duck lunged for a piece of bread. Chaos ensued. Bella shrieked with delight. Claire laughed so hard she nearly spilled lemonade. And Alex chased the duck like a man defending national security. Come back here. Alex yelled, waving his arms. The duck ignored him, victorious with its prize. When Alex returned, slightly out of breath, Claire was still laughing. That was impressive. Alex rubbed his forehead. I'm adding Duck Wrangler to my resume. Bella clapped. You were so fast, Daddy. Alex muttered. Not fast enough. Heart-to-heart moment. Later, when Bella and Thomas wandered off to check the fishing rods, Alex and Claire sat on the blanket, the lake stretching calm and endless before them. For a moment, it was quiet, just the sound of water lapping against the shore. Claire spoke first. You're really good with her. Alex glanced at her. Bella? She's my whole world. Claire smiled softly. I can tell. Alex hesitated, then said, it wasn't easy. After Jessica left, I didn't know if I could do it. Claire's expression gentled. But you did. Alex shrugged. Because I had to. Bella deserved better than everything falling apart. Claire's voice was quiet. You're stronger than you think. Alex looked at her, really looked, and something in his chest shifted. You're easy to talk to, he said before he could stop himself. Claire's cheeks warmed. So are you. Their eyes held. Longer than before, deeper than before, and for the first time, Alex wondered what it would be like if this wasn't just a picnic. If this was something more. Claire's heart thudded like a drum. She wanted to reach out, to tell him what she'd felt for years, but she didn't. Not yet. Instead, she smiled and said, Bella's lucky. Alex's gaze softened. I'm the lucky one. And Claire thought, maybe this trip really is magic. Bella's grand plan. From the dock, Bella whispered to Thomas. They're sitting close. That's good. Thomas chuckled. You're a mastermind. Bella grinned. Next, we make them hold hands. Thomas laughed so hard he nearly dropped the fishing rod. You're dangerous, kid. Bella puffed up proudly. I know. Chapter 5. Rain, rivalry, and something like magic. The rain started as a whisper against the windows, then grew into a steady rhythm that turned the lake into a sheet of silver. Bella pressed her nose to the glass, eyes wide. Daddy, she announced, the sky is crying. Alex chuckled, setting down his coffee. It's called rain, sweetheart. Bella spun dramatically. We can't go outside. What do we do? Before Alex could answer, Claire appeared in the doorway, holding a stack of board games like a peace offering. We make our own fun. Bella gasped. Games? Thomas followed with a grin. Rainy days are for champions. Alex eyed the stack suspiciously. What's in there? Claire smirked. Monopoly. Scrabble. And she held up a box with a flourish. Twister. Alex groaned. That's not a game. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. Bella clapped her hands. Twister first. Twister. The great disaster. 10 minutes later, Alex was contorted like a pretzel, one hand on green, one foot on yellow, and his dignity somewhere under the coffee table. Claire was laughing so hard she could barely spin the wheel. Left foot red. Bella announced gleefully. Alex groaned. Bella, I'm already on red. Then do 2 reds. Bella said, as if that solved everything. Claire grinned. Rules are flexible. Alex shot her a look. You're enjoying this. Absolutely. Claire said, eyes sparkling. Thomas snapped a photo from the couch. For posterity. Alex muttered something about betrayal, then toppled over in a heap. Bella cheered like he'd won gold at the Olympics. Monopoly mayhem. After Twister claimed its victims, they moved to Monopoly. Bella insisted on being the top hat. Alex ended up as the thimble, which felt metaphorically accurate. 2 hours later, Bella had somehow acquired Boardwalk, Park Place, and half the railroads. Alex was bankrupt. Claire was laughing so hard she had tears in her eyes. She's ruthless, Alex said, staring at his empty pile of cash. She learned from the best, Claire teased. Alex raised an eyebrow. Are you calling me ruthless? Claire smiled. Strategic. Alex chuckled. I'll take that. Claire watched Alex laugh with Bella, his eyes crinkling at the corners, and felt her heart do that ridiculous somersault again. He looked happy, really happy, and she wanted to keep that smile on his face forever. The almost date moment, when Thomas and Bella wandered off to make popcorn, Alex and Claire stayed behind, the rain tapping softly against the windows. The board lay abandoned between them, colorful bills scattered like confetti. Claire spoke first. You're good with her. Alex smiled faintly. She makes it easy. Claire hesitated, then said, You make it look easy. Alex shook his head. It's not. But she's worth everything. Claire's voice softened. You're a good dad. Alex looked at her, really looked, and something in his chest shifted. You're easy to talk to, he said quietly. Claire's cheeks warmed. So are you. For a moment, the world narrowed to the space between them. The rain, the laughter in the other room, and the quiet hum of something that felt like possibility. Bella, from the kitchen, Bella whispered to Thomas. They're sitting close again. Thomas grinned. Progress. Bella nodded sagely. Next, we make them share popcorn. Thomas laughed. You're dangerous. Bella puffed up proudly. I know. Chapter 6. Moonlight and Confessions. The rain had cleared by evening, leaving the air crisp and the lake shimmering under a silver moon. Bella was asleep upstairs, curled around her stuffed bunny, and Thomas had retreated to his room with a book. The house was quiet, except for the soft creak of the porch boards as Alex stepped outside. He needed air, space, a moment to think. 2 weeks at the lake house had been more than he expected. More laughter, more chaos, more Claire. He shoved his hands into his pockets and wandered toward the dock, the boards glowing pale under the moonlight. The water lapped gently, whispering secrets he couldn't quite hear. Couldn't sleep, a voice said behind him. Alex turned. Claire stood in the doorway, wrapped in a cardigan, her hair loose around her shoulders. She looked like the night had been waiting for her. Just needed a walk, Alex said. Claire smiled softly. Mind if I join? Alex hesitated, then shook his head. Not at all. The walk. They strolled along the dock, their footsteps quiet, the world hushed except for the distant call of a loon. For a while, they didn't speak. It wasn't awkward, it was easy, like the silence had its own language. Finally, Claire said, It's beautiful here. Alex nodded. Yeah, peaceful. Claire glanced at him. You seem different tonight. Alex raised an eyebrow. Different how? Lighter, Claire said. Like you're not carrying the whole world on your shoulders. Alex chuckled softly. Maybe because the world's asleep upstairs. Claire smiled. Bella's amazing. She is, Alex said, his voice warm. She saved me, you know. Claire tilted her head. Saved you? Alex stared at the water, moonlight rippling across its surface. When Jessica left, I thought I'd break. But Bella, she gave me a reason to keep going. Claire's heart clenched. I'm sorry, she said quietly. That must have been so hard. Alex shrugged, but his eyes were shadowed. Hard doesn't cover it. I kept asking myself what I did wrong. Why I wasn't enough. Claire stopped walking, turning to face him. Alex, you were more than enough. You still are. Alex met her gaze, and something in his chest cracked open. You really think that? Claire nodded, her voice steady. I know that. Claire's pulse thrummed like the lake's quiet rhythm. She wanted to reach out, to take his hand, to tell him everything she'd felt for years, but she didn't. Not yet. Instead, she said, You're one of the strongest people I know. Alex's eyes softened, and for a moment, she thought he might close the distance between them. Her breath caught. Alex's confession. Alex looked at Claire, really looked, and saw not just the woman who laughed at his jokes and helped him fix routers, but someone who understood. Someone who saw him. Not just the dad, not just the tech guy, but him. You're easy to talk to, he said quietly. I don't get that a lot. Claire smiled faintly. Maybe because you don't let people in. Alex considered that, then said, maybe. The silence stretched, charged and fragile. Alex's hand twitched at his side, like it wanted to move, to find hers. He didn't. Not yet. But the thought was there, bright and dangerous. The spark. They stood at the edge of the dock, moonlight painting silver halos around them. Claire shivered slightly, and Alex shrugged off his jacket without thinking, draping it over her shoulders. Thanks, she murmured, her fingers brushing his as she pulled it close. The touch was brief, but it felt like a spark, small, quick, enough to make Alex's pulse stumble. Claire looked up, her eyes luminous in the moonlight. Alex. He swallowed hard. Yeah. Her lips curved into a smile that felt like a promise. Nothing, she said softly. Just thanks. Alex smiled back, and for the first time in years, hope didn't feel like a stranger. Bella, dreaming. Upstairs, Bella dreamed of ducks wearing tiaras and Daddy laughing with Claire. In her dream, everything was perfect. And maybe, Just maybe, it wasn't just a dream. Chapter 7. Waves, Whispers, and the Green-Eyed Monster. The lake glittered like a sheet of glass under the midday sun, and Alex was halfway through tightening a porch hinge when Bella burst out of the house like a firecracker. "Daddy, guess what?" she shouted, curls bouncing as she skidded to a stop. Alex looked up, rag in hand. "What's up, tornado?" Bella grinned, so wide it looked like her face might split. "Grandpa Tom says we're going on a boat ride." Alex blinked. "A boat ride?" "Yes." Bella squealed, hopping from one foot to the other. "And Claire's coming too." Alex's stomach did a weird flip. "Claire." Before he could process that, Claire stepped onto the porch, sunglasses perched on her head, hair swept into a ponytail that somehow made her look like she belonged in a summer magazine spread. She wore jeans and a soft jacket, casual but perfect, like always. "Ready for some lake adventure?" she asked, her smile warm enough to melt steel. Alex cleared his throat, suddenly aware of the smudge of grease on his shirt. Sure." The boat reveal. Thomas was waiting at the dock, grinning like a man who'd just pulled off the ultimate heist. "Got the old pontoon cleaned up," he announced proudly. "Perfect day for a ride." Bella bounced like a pogo stick. "I'm the captain." Thomas chuckled. "You can be co-captain with me." Alex eyed the boat, then Claire, who was laughing with Bella over life jackets, and felt that strange twist in his chest again. He told himself it was nothing. Just a boat ride. Just proximity. On the water, the pontoon hummed softly as it glided across the lake, leaving ripples in its wake. Bella sat between Thomas and Claire, chattering about ducks and treasure maps. Alex sat opposite Claire, trying not to notice how the sunlight turned her hair into molten gold. "So," Claire said, adjusting Bella's hat. "Ever been out here before?" "Not in years," Alex replied, his voice low. "Last time was before Bella." Claire nodded, her expression soft. "It's beautiful." Alex smiled faintly. "Yeah, it is." Their eyes met, briefly, but enough to make Alex's pulse kick up. He looked away, focusing on the water like it held the secrets of the universe. Enter jealousy. Halfway across the lake, Thomas handed Claire the steering wheel. "Your turn." Claire laughed, gripping the wheel. "I haven't driven this thing in forever." Thomas leaned in, pointing out the controls, his voice warm and teasing. Claire laughed again, and Alex felt something sharp and unfamiliar twist inside him. It wasn't rational. Thomas was her dad, but still, the easy closeness, the shared laughter, it made Alex feel like an outsider in his own daydream. Bella noticed. Of course she did. "Daddy," she whispered loudly, "why are you making your grumpy face?" Alex blinked. "I'm not grumpy." "You look like the ducks stole your cookie," Bella said matter-of-factly. Claire glanced over, amused. "Everything okay?" "Fine," Alex said quickly, forcing a smile. "Just enjoying the view." Claire's eyes lingered on him for a beat longer than necessary, and Alex wondered if she could see right through him. Claire felt the tension like a ripple in the water. Alex was quiet, too quiet. Was he jealous? The thought sent a thrill through her, followed by guilt. She didn't want him uncomfortable. She wanted him close. She handed the wheel back to Thomas and moved to sit beside Alex. "You okay?" she asked softly. Alex nodded, but his smile was tight. "Yeah." Claire hesitated, then said, "You don't have to do everything alone." Alex looked at her, surprised. "What do you mean?" Claire's voice was gentle. "You've carried so much. For Bella. For yourself. It's okay to let someone help." Alex swallowed hard, something in his chest cracking open. "I don't know how." Claire smiled, warm and steady. "Then maybe start small." Their eyes held, and for a moment, the world narrowed to just them. The lake, the sunlight, and the possibility of something more. Bella's grand plan. From the bow, Bella whispered to Thomas, "They're sitting close." "That's good." Thomas grinned. "You're relentless." Bella puffed up proudly. "Next time, we make them share a blanket." Thomas laughed so hard he nearly dropped the anchor. "You're dangerous, kid." Bella beamed. "I know." Chapter 8. Raindrops and Revelations. The first raindrop hit the porch railing like a warning shot. Then another. Then 1,000 more, drumming against the roof in a rhythm that made Bella squeal with delight. "Daddy, it's raining," she shouted, pressing her nose to the window. "Can we dance in it?" Alex glanced up from the stack of folded towels. "Not unless you want pneumonia." Bella pouted dramatically. "But it's fun." Claire appeared in the doorway, her hair slightly damp from running to secure the porch cushions. "Looks like we're stuck inside for a while," she said, brushing raindrops from her sweater. Alex smiled faintly. "Cozy day, then." Thomas grinned from his armchair. Perfect excuse for a fire. Fireplace glow. Soon, the living room was bathed in the warm flicker of flames. The rain hammered against the windows, but inside, everything felt soft, like the world had shrunk to this room, this moment. Bella sprawled on the rug with a coloring book, humming to herself. Thomas dozed in his chair, snoring lightly. And Alex sat on the couch, watching Claire arrange logs with practiced ease. "You've done this before," he said, amused. Claire smiled over her shoulder. "Every summer. Mom loved rainy days here." Alex's chest tightened. "I bet she did." Claire's expression softened. "She'd have liked you." Alex blinked. "Me?" Claire nodded. "You're steady. Kind. The kind of person who stays." Alex swallowed hard, words tangling in his throat. "I try." Claire smiled gently. "You succeed. Board game chaos." Bella sensing the quiet was too quiet, popped up like a jack-in-the-box. Game time, she declared, dragging a box of board games from the shelf. Alex groaned. Bella, Daddy, it's tradition. Bella insisted, setting up Candyland with the authority of a seasoned dealer. Claire laughed, settling beside Alex on the floor. I'm in. Thomas cracked one eye open. Count me out. I value my sanity. Bella rolled her eyes. You're no fun. The game started innocently enough until Bella decided the rules were flexible. Alex accused her of cheating, Bella accused him of being a sore loser, and Claire laughed so hard she nearly toppled over. You're ruthless, Alex told Bella, moving his piece back 3 spaces. Bella grinned. I learned from you. Claire smirked. She's got a point. Alex shot her a look, but his lips twitched. Traitor. The almost confession. Later, when Bella curled up under a blanket and Thomas retreated to his room, the house fell quiet again. Alex and Claire sat on the couch, the fire painting their faces in shades of gold and shadow. Claire spoke first. You're good with her. Alex glanced at Bella, sleeping soundly. She's everything. Claire nodded. I can see that. Alex hesitated, then said softly. Sometimes I wonder if I'm enough. Claire turned to him, eyes steady. Alex, you're more than enough. Their gazes locked, the air thick with something unspoken. Alex wanted to tell her, wanted to say the words that had been building since the first day at the lake house, but his throat tightened. Instead, he said, thank you. Claire smiled, but there was something in her eyes, a question, a hope, that made Alex's pulse race. Claire stared at the fire, heart pounding. She'd been so close to hearing what she'd dreamed of for years. But maybe tomorrow, maybe the next moment, because something was changing. She could feel it. Bella's whispered plan, from under her blanket, Bella cracked one eye open and whispered to herself, tomorrow, they hold hands. For sure. Chapter 9, Storms inside and out. The rain had stopped overnight, leaving the lake wrapped in mist like a secret. The house smelled of coffee and cinnamon toast, and Alex was just starting to feel like things were good. Better than good. Claire's laughter still echoed in his head from last night, warm and easy, like sunlight breaking through clouds. Then the knock came. Sharp. Sudden. Wrong. Alex froze, mug halfway to his lips. Thomas looked up from the newspaper, brows knitting. Bella, perched at the table with crayons, tilted her head. Daddy, someone's here. Alex set the mug down and crossed the room, every step heavy with unease. When he opened the door, the world tilted. Jessica, his ex-wife, stood on the porch, raincoat clinging to her like a second skin, hair damp, eyes wide. The woman who had vanished 5 years ago without a word, except for the papers that ended everything, was here, flesh and blood, and smiling like she had a right to. Alex, she said softly. Hi. Shockwaves. For a moment, Alex couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. His mind scrambled for logic, for reason, for anything that made sense. But all he saw was the woman who walked out when Bella was 9 months old, the woman who left him holding a baby and a broken heart. Jessica, he said finally, voice flat. What are you doing here? She swallowed, glancing past him into the cozy glow of the living room. I needed to see you. Alex's jaw tightened. 5 years too late. Behind him, Bella's voice piped up. Daddy? Who's that? Alex turned, heart pounding. Bella stood in the doorway, clutching her stuffed bunny, eyes curious. She didn't know. She didn't remember. And Alex had no idea how to explain. Claire appears. Claire came down the hall, sweater sleeves pushed up, hair loose from its ponytail. She stopped when she saw Jessica, her smile fading like a candle snuffed out. Alex? Claire asked quietly. Jessica's gaze flicked to Claire, assessing, calculating. And you are? Claire straightened, calm but cool. Claire. A friend. Jessica's lips curved, but it wasn't a smile. Of course. Alex felt the tension coil tighter, like a rope pulled to breaking. He stepped outside, closing the door behind him before Bella could hear more. The confrontation. What do you want? Alex demanded, voice low. Jessica's eyes shimmered with something. Regret? Guilt? He didn't care. I made a mistake, she whispered. I thought I couldn't handle being a mother. But I've changed. I want to be part of Bella's life. Alex stared at her, anger and disbelief crashing like waves. You signed away your rights. I know, Jessica said quickly. But I'm her mother. Alex's laugh was sharp, bitter. You were her mother. For 9 months. I've been her everything since. Jessica flinched. Please, Alex. Just let me see her. Alex's chest burned. You don't get to walk back in like nothing happened. Claire, through the window, Claire watched them, watched Alex's shoulders tense, watched the storm in his eyes. Her heart ached for him, for Bella, for the fragile piece that was shattering like glass. And then the fear crept in. Jessica was beautiful, polished, the kind of woman who could turn lives upside down with a smile. Claire hated that the thought even crossed her mind, but it did. What if Alex still cared? Inside the house, Bella tugged on Claire's sleeve. Claire, why is Daddy mad? Claire knelt, forcing a smile. He's just talking. Bella frowned. That lady looked at Daddy like she knows him. Claire's throat tightened. She does. Bella tilted her head. Is she nice? Claire hesitated. I don't know yet. The breaking point. Alex came back inside. Jaw set, eyes dark. Jessica followed, her presence filling the room like smoke. Thomas stood, his expression unreadable. Alex, Jessica said softly, please. Just 5 minutes with her. Bella looked up, blinking. Daddy. Alex's heart twisted. He wanted to protect her, shield her. But how do you explain abandonment to a child who only knows love? Before he could speak, Claire stepped forward, voice steady. Maybe you should leave. Jessica's eyes narrowed. And you are what exactly? Claire didn't flinch. Someone who cares about them. The silence that followed was sharp enough to cut. Alex looked at Claire, really looked, and something inside him anchored. Jessica was the past. Claire was something else. Something solid. Something good. And for the first time, Alex knew exactly what he wanted. Chapter 10. Sparks and Surprises. The lake house felt different after Jessica left, like the air had thickened, heavy with words unsaid. Alex stood by the window, watching the mist curl over the water, his hands shoved deep in his pockets. Behind him, the fire crackled softly, but it didn't chase away the chill in his chest. Claire moved quietly, stacking plates from lunch. She didn't look at him, and that hurt more than he expected. Claire, Alex said finally, his voice low. She paused, fingers tightening on the edge of a plate. Yeah. Alex turned, meeting her eyes. Thank you. For earlier. Claire's smile was small, but steady. You don't have to thank me. I do. Alex said, stepping closer. You didn't have to stand up for us. Claire shrugged lightly, though her eyes shimmered. I wanted to. Alex swallowed hard, the weight of everything pressing down. 5 years of holding it together, of being strong, of never letting himself want more than what he had. And now here was Claire. Solid, kind, brave. Everything he didn't know he needed until this moment. I don't know what I'm doing, he admitted, voice rough. But I know I don't want to lose this. Claire's breath hitched. Alex. He closed the distance slowly, giving her every chance to pull away. She didn't. When his lips touched hers, it was soft at first, hesitant, like a question. Then deeper, like an answer neither of them had dared to speak. The world narrowed to warmth and firelight, and the taste of something new. Something right. Bella's entrance, Daddy? Alex jerked back so fast he nearly tripped over the coffee table. Claire's cheeks flushed crimson as Bella stood in the doorway, clutching her bunny and blinking like she'd just walked in on a crime scene. Were you kissing? Bella asked, her tone equal parts scandalized and fascinated. Alex opened his mouth, closed it, opened it again. Up. Claire bit her lip, fighting a laugh. We were talking. Bella tilted her head, unimpressed. With your mouths? Alex groaned. Bella. Bella's eyes lit up like fireworks. Does this mean Claire's gonna be my new mommy? Claire choked on air. Alex turned a shade of red previously unknown to humanity. No. I mean what? Bella, go color something. Bella grinned, clearly sensing victory. I'm telling Grandpa Tom. Alex muttered something about betrayal as Bella skipped away, humming like a tiny matchmaker who'd just won the championship. Claire pressed a hand to her lips, heart racing. She'd imagined this moment for years, but nothing compared to reality. The warmth of his touch, the way he looked at her like she was the only thing holding him steady. And then Bella's question echoed in her head, equal parts terrifying and thrilling. New mommy. Claire wasn't naive. She knew this wasn't simple. But as Alex turned back to her, eyes full of something raw and real, she thought, maybe simple isn't the point. Maybe love never is. Alex exhaled, dragging a hand through his hair. He should feel panic, guilt, something sharp. Instead, all he felt was clarity, like the storm had passed and left the truth shining bright. He wanted Claire, not just for now, for always. And maybe, just maybe, Bella was right. Chapter 11. After the storm, the lake house was quiet again, but not the same kind of quiet as before. It was the kind that comes after a storm. Heavy, charged, waiting for something new to bloom. Jessica was gone. Alex had made sure of that, his voice firm, his resolve unshakable. She'd left with tears in her eyes and promises he didn't believe. And now, standing in the golden spill of morning light, Alex felt lighter, like he'd finally closed a door that had been creaking open for 5 years. Bella sat at the table, munching on toast like nothing had happened. Daddy, she said between bites, are we still having pancakes tomorrow? Alex smiled faintly. Absolutely. Claire entered the kitchen, hair loose, wearing a soft blue sweater that made Alex's chest tighten in ways he was finally ready to admit. Their eyes met, and something passed between them, quiet, certain, like a vow spoken without words. The conversation that changed everything. Later, when Bella was outside with Thomas feeding ducks, Alex found Claire on the porch, staring at the lake. He stepped beside her, heart pounding like it had the night of the rainstorm. Claire, he began, voice low, I need to say something. She turned, eyes steady, waiting. I spent years thinking love was something that happened once, Alex said slowly. And when it's gone, that's it. But then, you happened. Claire's breath caught. Alex. He reached for her hand, fingers trembling. I don't want to waste another second pretending I don't feel this. I love you. Claire's eyes shimmered, and then she was smiling, bright, beautiful, unstoppable. I love you too. The kiss was soft at first, then deep, then everything Alex had been afraid to hope for. When they pulled apart, Claire laughed breathlessly. You know Bella's going to plan the wedding before we do. Alex grinned. She already has. Bella, from the dock, Bella whispered to Thomas. They're kissing. That means they're getting married. Thomas chuckled. You might be right. Bella puffed up proudly. I'm the flower girl. Wedding plans begin. By evening, the lake house buzzed with a new kind of energy. Bella sat cross-legged on the rug, sketching a wedding map with crayons. We need ducks, she announced. Lots of ducks. Claire laughed, kneeling beside her. Ducks at a wedding? Bella nodded solemnly. They can wear tiaras. Alex groaned. Not the tiaras again. Bella grinned. Daddy, it's tradition. Thomas raised his glass from the armchair. To new traditions. Alex met Claire's gaze across the room, and in that moment, he knew this was home. Not the lake house, not the town, but the people in it. Bella, Claire, them. Closing scene. Later that night, Alex stood on the porch with Claire, stars scattered like diamonds above the lake. He slipped an arm around her waist, pulling her close. Think Bella will let us have any say in this wedding? He murmured. Claire laughed softly. Not a chance. Alex kissed her temple, smiling against her skin. Good thing I like surprises. And for the first time in years, Alex felt like the future wasn't something to fear. It was something to run toward, with Claire by his side and Bella leading the way, tiaras and all. Chapter 12. Happily ever after, with extra glitter. The lake shimmered under a perfect summer sky, the same lake where everything had started. White chairs lined the grassy slope, draped in ribbons that fluttered in the breeze. Flowers spilled from mason jars, and laughter floated like music through the air. Alex stood at the edge of the dock, adjusting his tie for the 5th time. He'd faced hackers, firewalls, and even ducks with attitude, but nothing had prepared him for this. Marrying Claire. Daddy. Bella's voice rang out like a bell, and Alex turned just in time to see his daughter sprinting toward him in a cloud of tulle. Her flower girl dress was a masterpiece of pink and sparkle, and her curls bounced like springs. You look beautiful, Bells, Alex said, crouching to hug her. Bella grinned, missing tooth and all. I know, but Daddy, you look nervous. Alex chuckled. Maybe a little. Bella tilted her head, wise beyond her years. Don't be. Claire likes you more than pancakes. Alex laughed so hard he nearly forgot how to breathe. That's reassuring. The ceremony, guests gathered as Thomas walked Claire down the aisle, his eyes shining with pride. Alex's heart thudded like a drum when he saw her. Hair swept up, dress simple but stunning, smile that could light up the whole lake. When Claire reached him, Alex whispered, "You're incredible." Claire's eyes sparkled. "You're late on that observation." The officiant began, words flowing like water, but Alex barely heard them. All he saw was Claire. All he felt was Bella's tiny hand slipping into his, grounding him in the moment. "Do you, Alexander Cross, take Claire Thomas?" "I do," Alex said, voice steady. "And do you, Claire Thomas, take Alexander Cross?" "I do," Claire said, smiling so wide Alex thought his heart might burst. Bella's big moment, when the officiant declared, "You may kiss the bride." Bella clapped her hands and shouted, "Finally." Laughter rippled through the crowd as Alex kissed Claire, soft, sweet, everything he'd dreamed of. Bella bounced in place, then yelled, "Now can we have cake?" Thomas groaned. "Priorities, kid." Bella grinned. "Cake first, dancing later." Reception chaos. The reception was a blur of music, laughter, and Bella stealing the spotlight. She insisted on leading the first dance, dragging Alex and Claire into a wobbly waltz that ended with all three collapsing in giggles. Later, Bella stood on a chair to make a toast. "Daddy and Claire are the best team ever," she announced proudly. "And now we're all family. Also, ducks don't need tiaras, but people do." Claire laughed so hard she nearly spilled her champagne. Alex kissed Bella's forehead, whispering, "You're my everything." Bella beamed. "I know." Claire looked around. The lake, the laughter, the man she loved holding the little girl who had stolen her heart, and thought, "This is it. This is home." Alex. Alex held Claire's hand as the sun dipped low, painting the sky in gold and rose. He'd spent years wondering if happiness was something other people got. Turns out, it was right here, on a dock, with a woman who stayed and a little girl who believed in magic.